Alright, welcome guys. I normally don't do team building videos on my own teams that I use to climb and go Battle League. However, this one's special because this is actually the most powerful team I've ever created on PvPoke. It is literally the top, not just one of the top teams, the top rated team on PvPoke.com. So statistically, this is the most powerful team in Great League GBL as of right now. It covers a lot of the meta. There's a lot of ins and outs, and it's just extremely powerful if you play it if you play it well, it's extremely powerful. Now, the idea behind this team actually came from before. I've been using Shiftry DD Core forever, and I actually use several variations of Shiftry and DD, but after looking at this meta for season 4 and putting stuff together, I've figured out that like there are a lot of patterns with these three that still work with my original team. Now, Shadow Shiftry actually flips a lot of important matchups. That's why Shadow Shiftry is in the lead. But I actually didn't do a lot of practice with this team. I would run a few sims here and there, a few training sims, and sure enough, those few training sims I did actually broke this team into the most powerful team of all of Great League for Season 4. Again, it's statistically the most powerful, not just actually the most powerful. And I've actually used it to climb really high in Season 4. Minus lag and everything, it's actually already had a plus 60% win rate consistently. And that's including lag. It's always been above 60%. That's out of 100 battles, which is so it's really nuts. It's very powerful if played correctly, and I'm going to show you the ins and outs of the team over here. As you see here, there's the movesets on the right. There are my IVs. There's a reason why I have an attack weight Shadow Shiftry. It's just to win CMP versus other Shiftries. You'll see what I do on the leads videos and just each and every one as I break down each and in every individual mon you see over here. All right, let's get started. All right, so the idea behind this team was basically to gather energy with Shiftry, and then what you do in the back is that you use Galarian Stunfisk to wall its opposing, like what Shiftry is weak to. So you wall the flyer. As you see here, we get a Sableye lead. They throw in their flyer. I get a little more energy here before I throw in Stunfisk. Now I have a ton of energy queued with Shiftry. I know it wins CMP against a lot of things. So this is what the original idea was. Gather energy with Shiftry. If they have the flyer in the back and they throw it into you, you wall them with Galarian Stunfisk. Now, I don't have to pop any shields in this scenario, and we have energy advantage on Shiftry. Now, we either do with Shiftry, we can have Shiftry with shields and energy up. It's almost unstoppable. As you see here, Galarian Stunfisk is able to wall every single flyer in this game. And we take out the burb. They come back in with an Azu in the back, which is great. So we beat both Azu and the Sableye. This team is so powerful that Shiftry can take on Azu in the back as long as it has shields and energy. As you see here, I send in my Shiftry with cute energy, Leaf Blade my opponent down, and with energy, I can outpace this bunny and just consistently break its shields. It's extra, like I said, with the bunny in the back or in the lead, you just absolutely butcher it, and if Shiftry has shields, if it has lead, and it's pretty healthy, it can do a lot of damage. We take out the Azu here. We have 2 shields. We have effectively cut down our opponent's shields, and they have no way out. That's the idea behind this team. Energy advantage, wall the flyer, and absolutely destroy your opponent. And we win with 2 shields, and Shiftry pretty much destroyed that entire team. GG's to my opponent. All right, so here's the strategy 1, baiting out the flyer. You win lead, usually it's against Mudboy or Azu, and then they throw in their flyer into you. You don't want to switch out right away. As you see here, before I switch out, I get 1 or 2 Snarls in before I actually switch Pancake in. Now Pancake completely walls Skarmory. It can comfortably eat all the damage here, and then I can save all that energy and my shields for Shiftry. Now, you only shield if you need to keep switch advantage. It shouldn't happen most of the time. If you switch in late or if you lag, that's usually the issue here. But most of the time, you'll either one, be at a shield advantage, or they just flat out let their Skarmory or their Altaria go. Now, you kind of want to take a little bit of damage because you don't want to be farmed in the end. But as you see, we take out the flyer here. And then after that, we have all this energy queued for Shiftry. I can get to an Earthquake because I managed my energy well with Stunfisk. They have to shield or eat damage. Here you see they just eat the damage. I go for another Earthquake, but there's absolutely no need to. I can let my Pancake die, and then we have all that energy queued up for Shiftry to throw in. Shiftry wins CMP, and they have to either shield or let their Wish Cache go. Now we get a Galvantula. It's perfectly fine. I still got Deoxys D. We're really comfortable here. They have shield. They have to pop their shields. And do you see all this energy we have with Shiftry? They have to shield both of these. I send in Deoxys defense. I have shield advantage. I can get to a rock slide. This is GG's. But as you see here, that's what you... The key is patience. Now, because the game is kind of wonky right now, you can't switch in right away. So the best thing to do is to queue a few Snarls, and then you switch into your opponent. This is strat number 1. As you see here, GG's. Alright, so here's just a list of common leads on the right. As you see here, I'm gonna show you an example of this is a Galvantula example. We win the lead here. Our opponent throws in Galvantula into us. Now you always want to get, like I said, Q energy and then switch out. We win this comfortable here. Our goal is to bait shields and just outright win switch. Now the thing about this strat is you have to have a little bit of patience. If you do, make sure you get that queued energy because you'll win CMP against most things. You'll lose against Galvantula here as far as CMP. You'll also lose against things like Alolan Marowak and Haunter. So just keep that in mind. But you always want that queued energy. And you have such a dominant matchup here is that I don't have to shield. Now, I think my opponent does something really weird here. They give up switch and switch into their Obstagoon. You want to throw DD in these scenarios. DD is kind of like your lifeline. It's your second save switch / if they do weird stuff, like how they threw this in and it got the boost, you can kind of kill it without having to worry that much. They opt to shield here because anyone that boosts will obviously double shield because they need to save their Mon unless they're really smart. Because you still die really fast here. I'm just stalling the clock at this point because remember all that queued energy we have with Shiftry? Guess what? Switch clock is almost up. I tried to do it there, but that's fine. So they're probably going to get a Thunder Punch. That won't KO. We switch in, get 2 more Leaf Blades in. That's fine. I mean, get 2 more Snarls in. They send the Galvantula. It doesn't matter. You're going to get absolutely destroyed. GG's. As you see here, we absolutely dominate the matchup, but that's Galvantula back. You don't have to worry about Galvantula. You beat Galvantula, and you also can stay in versus Flyers. So here's winning lead strat number 2. So you win the lead, but you don't exactly get the wall in. So what you want to do is you want to play the matchup out. So as you see, I get the Azu versus Shiftry. AWAC isn't wallable, but we win the 2 shield with Galarian Stunfisk pretty hard over here. So what you want to do is you want to throw Stunfisk or Deoxys defense accordingly. Here we get AWAC. So I'm going to bait shields with these rock slides and take back, and winning switch advantage is really important. Now, if you absolutely need to, you can use a Shiftry for the energy from Shiftry, but I wouldn't do it. Just try to play out the matchup as you see here. We just want to win back switch. Win back switch, take back switch, and then just absolutely end your opponent. So as you see here, we do win switch against Alolan Marowak. We matched it that. They send in Azu. We don't have any shields, but that's okay. We have that queued energy. I throw the rock slide. I send in my little evil Shadow Shiftry here. We got a Leaf Blade off. Now we win CMP with the second one. I try to switch out, but it doesn't work. That's okay, because I counted enough bubbles and I knew they would get to an Ice Beam. So now we get an Abomasnow versus my Deoxys D. We win this really hard, which is really good, because otherwise all you have to do is just farm down here. We can eat anything this Abomasnow throws at us, save all this energy, use the Psycho Boost, and then that's GG's. Yeah, I could have tried to counter down, but you want to always have the safer play, and the safer play here is to Psycho Boost for the win. Like I said, play it out, win switch, and then let it play accordingly. Alright, so here's another scenario. This is where they throw in, where you basically throw in accordingly. In this case, I throw in DD because DD beats Vigoroth. Now we're just going to straight Rock Slide here. As you saw, we win the lead hard. They lost the lead, and we switch in our DD into Vigoroth. This is just another example. This is where you'll throw in DD instead of G-Fisk. We're just going to win the lead here hard. I let this second body slam through, and then we're just going to counter down. or I'm just gonna rock slide, either or. You'll want to keep switch here because you get, like I said in one of my tips, just win switch. You line up winning against the lead. I don't charge here. I actually undercharge just so I can get some a little bit extra energy. And they send in their frog. So since they send in the Swampert, which is technically frog, I just Psycho Boost down. Now he has a lot of damage. They actually try to farm me down, so I just go for the double Psycho Boost play. And now this Swampert's pretty much dead. Like, we don't even technically need Shiftry. I take the Hydro Cannon because I'm like, this guy's probably not going to throw his energy. And I wanted to see what's in the back. As you see, it's a flyer, so we get a Skarmory. This is cake. All we do, we get to switch in with the Skarm, so then all we do is send in our Pancake, and Pancake goes to town. At this point, we pretty much won. Like I said, just line up the switch accordingly with whatever you need to, whether DD wins or G Stunfisk, and then you're good. So as you see, my opponent elects the Brave Bird. I just take it because there's no need to. I don't want to lose my shields here. There you go. He goes double burb. I go for the Brave Bird because he has to throw his energy. He has to like use up his energy and he dies. And then there's just no way out. I just come in, I Snarl, and I win GG's. And that's it. Alright, so this is everyone's favorite part of the video. What happens when you lose the lead? So here's the first one. It's on flyers, except for Drifblim because you actually beat Drifblim pretty hard. Now here's Altaria versus Shiftry. What I'm going to do is I'm going to Q energy here. I have it slowed down so that you could take a look at it, and then I switch in. The reason this is done is now what happens here is if I get shield advantage, I can possibly KO with the energy I got from Shiftry, or I can use it to break a shield. Whatever scenario happens. In this case, we're just going to eat the Sky Attack. I'm going to throw the Rock Slide here, just because I want to either break a shield or do as much damage as I possibly can against the Altaria. As the Altaria eats it, so now here's what I can do here. I have two options. One, I can pull off the fancy play and double Psycho Boost, because a single Psycho Boost actually kills at this range. Or I can go for the Rock Slide and Beta Shield. In this case, because it's so low, I'm going to go for the double Psycho Boost play. So I'm going to go for the double Psycho Boost, and as you see here, we're going to grab a shield. And then the second Psycho Boost, I get to it right here. I'm able to get to it, and then this will KO the Altaria or grab the second shield. The Altaria is so low, so it's not worth using a shield. And we take back switch. As you see there, DD and Psycho Boost, it's a very, very difficult move to play. But played right, it can get you a switch advantage like how I just showed you here. Swampert comes back in. We have Q energy on our Shiftry. This is game over. We have energy for Leaf Blade. I throw the Leaf Blade in an attempt to one, break the shield, or just wipe out the Swampert completely. We have a shield, or we go in with shield and energy advantage. Either one. As you see, my opponent elects to not switch out or do anything. We get the Leaf Blade through. This will one-shot, and this will KO. And then whatever's in the back, it's a Skarmory. I fire a Foul Play here. We have G Stunfisk for this Skarmory, so it's pretty much game over. As you see here, that queued energy really matters when you face a flyer. It allows you to, once DD comes in, it gives you options. You want to give yourself as many options as possible. And with Shiftry, you win CMP. So with Shiftry winning CMP, you can do a lot of things. And this was just a really sweet lead finish that you saw right here. Alright, now here's an example with Skarmory lead. I showed you Altaria, now here's a Skarmory. Pretty much the same thing. This one I do get a little more fancier though. So as you see here, we're going to queue up to the Foul Play and we're going to switch into DD. And we're just going to straight Rock Slide. Now, you can either take the Sky Attack or Shield. I elect to Shield because I feel like a Burb's coming, and it is the Brave Bird. So we do get an Umbreon switched into us. This is really bad because this beats us hard. So I'm just going to do as much damage as possible to the Umbreon. Now, we're going to try to win back switch. If we can't, I'm just usually just let my DD go. There's no point because it takes so much damage from Foul Play. We do manage to grab a shield, which is good. However, my opponent is I'm just going to let DD go, and now we lose switch. I send in my Shiftry. With all that cute energy, I gather up as many Leaf Blades as I can, and I just start going to town. We manage to take out the Umbreon right here, and then we get the Skarmory back in. I'm going to use a Foul Play to break the shield, and then we're just going to get another one queued up, and then we switch in Pancake. Now, at this point, I'm going to bank on one of two things. I have a shield, and I have queued energy on Shiftry. Shiftry wins CMP. So because Shiftry wins CMP, when I come in against that Skarm, I can finish it off with Foul Play. As you see here, I'm just going to go straight Earthquake. I want to do as much damage to this bunny as I can. And in the end, we managed to take out the bunny. Skarm's going to come back in, and we're going to Rock Slide it down to get it within Foul Play range, and then we're going to Foul Play. Now, when I Foul Play in, I try to time it right. You want to time it right so that you don't get air slashed in. Instead, I just let my Pancake go, and then I Foul Play for the win. Very complicated, but we lost the lead, and we took back the match for the W. Alright, so you're probably wondering, what happens if you see the Charmer? Well, I'm about to show you right now. Like it says in step 1, you know what you do? There's something called switching out immediately. This is literally the only scenario where you won't queue energy. You straight up leave. Charm does so much damage, you do not want your Shiftry to take it. As you see, I shift in really quickly here. I don't care what matchup I get against DD. You don't want to lose Stunfisk because ideally, like it says in step 2, you want to line up the Charmer versus G-Fisk, or you want to win this switch matchup. Now we have Umbreon locked into DD, so this is horrible. We're gonna have to get a little fancy here if we want to take this match, because we lost the lead and we lost switch. At this point, I'm just going to let Deoxy's defense go because this is what I'll usually do versus Umbreon, because there's just no point in shielding because Umbreon does so much damage and it outpaces us with Snarl and Foul Play. We lose our poor little DD, and now we send in Shiftry. Now this is a safer matchup. We can use Shiftry. Shiftry can eat our Last Resort here, and then we can use it to gain energy and Leaf Blade. So we do end up trying to Leaf Blade. Hopefully they either switch in. So I'm gonna take the Last Resort here and hopefully switch it, or I can shield, and I elect to shield the Last Resort and save all this energy because I'm actually gonna try and farm down. As you see here, we successfully farmed down, and we have 2 Leaf Blades queued plus some extra energy. They send in a Clefable, and I throw in the Leaf Blade to break shields. They have shield advantage. I want your shields. So we're going to try to take shields here with Leaf Blades. We don't get it. Too bad we have a second one queued. With that second one queued up, yes, we get that charm going through. However, we don't risk another charm coming through. So instead of 2 charms, we take 1, and then we're going to switch out. Actually, I take a really risky play here, and I go for another Leaf Blade. So you try to, like it says, as a last resort, Leaf Blade down. I want even shields here, because with shield advantage, I'm pretty sure I could take what's in the back, and I can take out the Clefable, and sure enough, it's a Deoxys defense. We win this hard. This is awesome. So that was my thought process there. As I see in a last resort, take shields with Leaf Blade, and hopefully Stunfisk can come out and clean up, and that's what we got over here. Stunfisk is very strong as a closer, but this is a very risky play. But like I said, last resort, you try to get shields or use that bulk that doesn't really exist versus a Charmer and get as many Leaf Blades as you can. Because of all the energy we got with Umbreon by farming it down, we can pull this play off. And we do, and we get this Deoxys D versus my Stunfisk. Deoxys D is very weak against Stunfisk. As long as we have a shield, we can take it out. I get enough energy for 2 Rock Slides here, so I can take out the Deoxys D, and so I can take out the Clefable in the back. But because it has a little bit of extra energy, a little bit extra health, I elect to go for the Earthquake instead, and I get to it, and this should finish off the Clefable. That's GG's. Again, with Charmers, you want to get out as soon as you can. Switch, get the Charm on DD, and then play out the match. And as a last resort, you have Shiftry versus the Charmer, and get as many Leaf Blades as you can. Take shields, and take out the Charmer in the end. That's what you want to do. Alright, so here we have how to handle pseudo fighters. Now, pseudo fighters are those fighters that are just really annoying because counter generates a lot of energy and does a lot of damage. Now, what you do against a pseudo fighter like Obstacle or Vigoroth, you switch immediately to DD. We either hope we can win the switch or we can just let our DD go and it can do enough damage to where we can do a fancy play with Shiftry or realign into Galarian Stunfisk. In this case, my opponent does go into a Cresselia. This is okay. I can eat a few Moonblasts here and just keep Rock Sliding down. As you see here, we're just going to go straight for the Rock Slides. Now we know we have that Obstagoon in the back, so we have to deal with it in some way or another. At this point, I switched in first, so I'm going to try to swift into Shiftry, try to do as much chip damage as I can, and try to think my opponent here is going, I'm going to either farm down or just gain energy. I Leaf Blade down. We have shield advantage now, so this is great. I Leaf Blade the shield down, and now we're just going to try to farm down. 1, 2, 3, bam. That Shadow Snarl damage is too real. They send back in the Obstagoon, and with shields down and with 2 Leaf Blades, like I said, we're going to get fancy. We Leaf Blade down, and then whatever's in the back, it's an Azu. We double Leaf Blade, and that's GG's. Like I said, you switch immediately DD, hope to take the switch, or you do a fancy place, as you see what I did here with Shiftry. You just try to do your best against this matchup. Alright, so the most popular pseudo-fire is probably Deoxys defense, and here we get a Shiftry lead into the Deoxys defense. So here's how you play DD. I either try to get both shields, or bait with both shields using Leaf Blade, or I get one shield and switch out. As you see, I get one shield here. I will gather enough energy to get another Leaf Blade, and I switch to DD. Thankfully, we're able to catch the Rock Slide, and now we have shield advantage. So now we have 2 shields against Azu, and we have an energy lead. Here, I'm going to pretend I have Thunderbolt. Always build up to pretend you have Thunderbolt against an Azu. Now, if you Rock Slide and they don't take the bait, unfortunately, that means they know what you're trying to plan, so here we go. I just let DD go at this point. I go for the double Psycho Boost play. Like I said in one of these notes, sometimes you have to get really fancy. So here we go. We go for the Rock Slide double Psycho Boost play. Hopefully we grab a shield. We do not. That's fine. This Azu's in kill range now. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send Shiftry in. I'm going to Leaf Blade. I'm going to see if I can grab that shield or if they just let it go. And they do let it go. I send in G-Fisk, and hopefully G-Fisk with 2 shields can take out this team. And we get a Shiftry, regular Shiftry, into our G-Fisk. But now we have Deoxys defense, and this matchup isn't that bad. As you see, I'm going to shield the Leaf Blades. We can take a ton of damage from Deoxys defense, so all I'm going to do is take shields here with Rock Slide. You want to, the ideal scenario here is to either 1, come out with shield advantage, or 2, hope that G-Fisk can take out what G-Fisk and Shiftry, with the little HP it has left, can take out whatever's in the back. Take out the Shiftry here. I can go straight for the Earthquake, and that's GG's. No matter what my enemy throws at me, whether it be Psycho Boost, I resist all of that, and that's GG's. As you see, you have to really rely on your back row for that. So here I have an ice lead for you. It's Abomasnow. It's usually Abomasnow or Shadow version is really popular. You can get Lapras too, but like either way, you'll play it the same way. So here we go. We managed to get a match, and I'm going to do it at 1 point. I'm not going to do this sped up so that we can see each individual. Like you can see the plays very clearly. So here's Abomasnow. Now I'm going to switch immediately. Always do that so that you don't get that Powder Snow damage. And they switch into an Obstagoon. Now the play here is to try and win switch. Our opponent is essentially sacking their Obstagoon here because you pseudo counter users do a lot of damage against Obstagoon. And let's hope it doesn't boost, and it does not. This is perfect. Okay, so we're going to fire these Rock Slides, hopefully grab some shields. I want to win switch here because by winning switch with G-Fisk, we can, in the back, we can take on Abomasnow with G-Fisk. So I'm just going to try to punch it down. I will have to shield here. I want to win switch, so basically try to win switch and line up Abomasnow with G-Fisk. That's what we're trying to do here. And hope that Shifter can handle what's ever in the back. We win pretty comfortably here, and this is where Rock Slide comes in handy. Because with Rock Slide, we have that extra move we can use against ice types and break shields because rocks destroy ice. We get a Skarmory, which is great. They don't know we have G-Fisk, so this is awesome. Because G-Fisk can take on both of these mons. I get the Rock Slide through. We want to do as much damage as we can against the Skarmory, so I'm just going to go straight Rock Slide. But that's why we operate Rock Slide, because Ice is one of the giant weaknesses of Shiftry, so we use that double Rock Slide with with Deoxys D and Stunfisk to get more play here. And I actually get to 3 Rock Slides. My opponent gets super greedy and they just gather all this energy, which really sucks for them because all I'm gonna do is throw in Pancake to get all this energy. I throw the Pancake, and I actually managed to Mud Shot down without them ever throwing the move, and we just literally Rock Slide down and we win. Like I said here, get the switch and hope that you could, and then Rock Slide down, throw a bunch of rocks and hope you could get DD, you could get Stunfisk on this Abomasnow. At this point, my opponent has no play here, and it's GG's. Like I said, realign, Obama on Stunfisk, or Rock Slide the Abomasnow down for the W. As much as you can, do your best. This is rough. Alright, so I actually don't have a video of Alolan Marowak, so what I did is I used a training sim. This is how I trained for Alolan Marowak. What I basically do is I will bait both shields with Leaf Blade. As you see, those Fire Spins do heavy damage, so you don't want to end up having to deal with them. The most you can get is actually 2 Leaf Blades. So try to get a Leaf Blade, shield, and then do a Foul Play or a Leaf Blade. The best case scenario is that your opponent actually doesn't call the Leaf Blade and actually eats the Foul Play. So you're going to throw Foul Play here and then switch. Hopefully with the little bit of HP we have left with Deoxys, which we can make something happen out of Shiftry. Now this is Caleb's line. If you've noticed, I've used Caleb's line as an example because some of his line's still really good and still running around. And after getting this is kind of what you want to do, break both shields. So break both shields, and then what you want to do is go for Deoxys D and try to make a play out of it. Alolan Marowak lead is really rough because it beats both like how fighter leads are. It beats Shiftry and it beats Galarian Stunfisk in a lot of scenarios. So you want to do as much damage as you can. In this scenario with Deoxys has a lot of play because hopefully we win whatever's in the back. If you don't get hard countered like here, you can still make some plays with Deoxys defense. In this case, we're going to take out the Ferrothorn with Deoxys defense. We don't need a shield there. We're going to be able to get 2 counters in, and then we win back switch. Now, we can make something work with Shiftry. As you see, their Shiftry comes in, and I can still get a Leaf Blade in this scenario and win CMP. So there's some plays you can make with Shiftry, with Shadow Shiftry. I'm going to auto switch back in here because there's no point in keeping my Mon alive. And now what we're going to do is we're actually going to let Alolan Marowak do more damage here. I'm going to just take whatever Alolan Marowak, because we have to shield the Leaf. We have to shield the Leaf Blade regardless. So our goal here is to get 2 Rock Slides and finish off the Shiftry in the back. So there's play, proper energy management, etc. You can make plays work, but like I said, you want to come out of the Alolan Marowak with shield advantage. That's your best case scenario. We're going to shield this. Shiftry does not have 2 Leaf Blades out. This is GG's. So that's the basic way to play Alolan Marowak, is to just have shield advantage coming out of that matchup. Break both shields with Shiftry, switch into DD, and then try to make something happen. That's what you want to do with an AWAC lead. So sadly, I don't have fighter footage, but here's a fighter in the lead. It's probably the worst thing you can counter. Now, you have to get really fancy in order to beat fighter leads. Your outs are Psycho Boost, or that you could do it, you could break enough shields to nuke the fighter. Now, if they have 2 fighters, you're kind of screwed. Like, if you get the pseudo fighter, like, you're dead. At this point, I'm going to sack Galarian Stunfisk. I kind of have to, because you want to take all the shield. Like I said, Psycho Boost is your only exit out of taking out Machamp, and even then it's just not comfortable at all. So I'm going to try to I have to expend both of my shields here. Fighter leads are really rough, especially Shadow Machamp. They send in the Azumarill, and now we're in a lot of trouble. We have a negative matchup and we're out of shields. So there's ways out of these matchups, but they're just really, really hard to come back from. We still have that entire Machamp to deal with. Like I said, Machamp can get one shot by Psycho Boost, but that's pretty much your emergency exit. If you can't realign to where the fighter basically, yeah, it's just so rough. Even if it was something like a Hitmonchan, it's just so hard to play back from. It's ridiculous. So we're gonna Earthquake here. I'm hoping that this kills. If it doesn't, we're in trouble. Okay, this actually kills. Oh no, it doesn't. We force. Okay, so this is kind of good. We are able to get a little bit of farm on this Azu. So there might be a way out of this. Like I said, you have to play really fancy if you want to beat a fighter lead. Because Psycho, unless you can one-shot it with Leaf Blade, or you can get a Psycho Boost, you're pretty much dead. Because this guy's going to come in. Yep. As you see there, we only have, yeah, this is GG's. So I can try and cut, like, with no shield. We're down in a shield scenario, but I don't have an energy lead. And there's still a whole Machamp ready to kill us. Unless I can well, there is actually a play here. Well, there might be a play. I can't confidently tell you there is one, but you know what? We're gonna give it a shot. So we're going to actually, yeah, this is gonna be, yeah, there is a game plan. There might be a game plan here. But okay, so now we have to pray this Psycho Boost. Like I said, Psycho Boost is our only way out. We're gonna pray that this Psycho Boost goes through. So we're gonna fire a Psycho Boost and hope that a debuff Psycho Boost takes out the Shadow Machamp. You have to get really fancy with these plays. Does it kill? It does. GG's. And that's just one of the few scenarios, like I can tell you, that might be able to allow you to win against fighter leads. Those were my Shiftry was pretty much dead, and Shadow Machamp just wrecks your world. That's why Psycho Boost is on this team, because it's really one of your only ways out against fighters. I've noticed it's either Leaf Blade or Psycho Boost is your only outs versus fighters, and this is probably one of the best examples to where you could still win as long as you play Psycho Boost and Leaf Blade properly. All right, so before we get into the battle or like neutral leads, so we can see fancy videos again, I'm going to show you how to win the neutral lead if you get the mirror against Shiftry. So some of these neutral leads you actually win, but some of them you technically can still lose if it's played right. So what I do here is when you play a Shiftry in the mirror, you want to try to either get an extra Snarl in to gain energy lead, or you want to win CMP, because ultimately CMP is what's going to determine who wins this matchup. Because if you go in the order, whoever Leaf Blades the other one down first is going to be the winner. And break both shields. As you see, you could still survive a Leaf Blade, but the key thing is you could only survive one. So you can only survive one Leaf Blade. Keep that in mind. You can't, in regular Shiftry, you can survive two at certain IV ranges, but you can't survive more than one. So we win CMP here. I'm going to have to shield the second one, but I know I win CMP, so we're going to take switch here. Unless my opponent decides to switch out. So we're going to try and get switch here. Because we do win. We know we win CMP, so we're okay here. So, boom. Now, since you win CMP, that's the key. You want to see if you win CMP. If you don't win CMP, then you have to get a little fancy. But for the most part, if you do win CMP, you're good. That or get the extra Snarl, like I told you before. Now, our opponent sends in the Skarmory. We have Stunfisk for that, so we're fine. We're Gucci. We don't have to worry about it. I'm going to gain energy for an Earthquake. They have an Azu in the back, so I'm just going to Earthquake the Azu. Because we have such a strong matchup with Galarian Stunfisk versus the Skarmory. I just want to keep it alive. Or I just want to do some chip damage on Azu before I leave. So we're going to leave here. We have plenty of options. We can Rock Slide and then Psycho Boost, or I could just straight Rock Slide for the W. But that's just the general. When you do get the mirror against Shiftry, like I said, get the Snarl in between. And what I mean by the Snarl in between, try to make it so that your opponent fires like their charge move, and you manage to get a Snarl in between their charge move. That's how you could get extra. You could do it on purpose. It's a really advanced technique, but you just try to get it and like see if you can make it happen. If you can, that's great. If you can't, then like I said, do the usual way and try and win CMP. If you know you lose CMP, You could probably switch into either DD or Stunfisk to try to catch the Leaf Blade and then counter down. That's another play you can do. But for the most part, what you want to do is, like I said before, you want to just to try and win CMP. The simplest thing to do is to try. That's why mine's is my actual Shadow Shiftry is 6 attack because I want to try and win CMP. Mostly, yeah, you want to try and win CMP. If you do win CMP, you win the mirror matchup. Now we pretty much won here. All we have to do is Earthquake. All we have to do is Rock Slide down, and that's GG's. But as you see here, the textbook play and the one I recommend you do is try to see if you win CMP. If you don't win CMP, that's when things get a little more dicey. And then you have to get a Snarl in between or try to switch in DD and be a little fancy. But this is the last time you're going to see this particular sim, and then we're going to get back to live battles. This is how training sims are incredibly useful. The champion level simulator is incredibly strong. It's absolutely extremely overpowered, and it's really good. And as you see here, we beat this matchup because we won CMP. Like I said, win CMP or get extra snarls in or get a little fancy. That's how you play the Shiftry mirror. All right, so right here I have a pancake neutral lead for you. Now, like I said, you technically win this in a 2 shield, but it just depends how the match goes. So I want to cover it here. The reason why I say neutral, because like I said, depending on how the match goes, you could still lose this. So in a perfect world, the 2 shield scenario is king. However, we're going to play, as you see here, what I do is I try to match. I normally will eat one Rock Slide first. This will want your opponent to either switch their own mon in, or they stay in. Best case scenario, they switch out. So here I will actually gain a ton of energy. I like eating a Rock Slide first and grabbing a ton of energy. Because with 2 Leaf Blades, you will take out the pancake. So it only takes 2 Leaf Blades to take out the pancake. As you see around here, I will start shielding now. My opponent elects to stays in. And we can't take another Rock Slide, so we have to shield, but I have an energy lead now. My opponent elects to switch out, and we get this Zapdos. That's fine. Leaf Blade will still do heavy damage, so this Zapdos either one has to shield or it takes heavy damage. So I get 2 more in because we resist Thundershock. Now I have 2 Leaf Blades queued. So like I said, if your opponent stays in, you win the 2 shield, and it takes only 2 Leaf Blades to kill the pancake. But in this scenario, our opponent elected to actually switch out and take us on with their Shadow Zapdos, which is really odd because now it's going to be it's kind of hard to come back from this. So Drill Peck or Thunderbolt doesn't do anything against our Stunfisk. So I'm actually going to try to farm down here. This is one of those few spicy mons that are really expensive for you to power up, but you know what? If you have one, you might as well use it. So we're getting another Drill Peck here. That's fine. We're just going to have all this sweet energy to throw in the back. So I'm going to Earthquake here. Hopefully we can get another Earthquake off. If I can't, I'm going to throw the Rock Slide. You always want to try to get the second Earthquake because 2 Earthquakes equal a lot of damage here. So we don't get it. I'm going to do a little more chip damage here. Technically, we're okay, but we have 2 Leaf Blades queued, so there's no reason for me to play so much risk. So we lose our pancake, but we have a Shiftry with 2 Leaf Blades queued. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take all of your shields right now. So we're really comfy right now. So Leaf Blades are going to start coming through. We win CMP, so we're just going to start taking our opponent's shields left and right. And like I said, if your opponent gives a switch, that's fine. Now, we have a lot of play here. I like taking the move just because of... I like taking the Rock Slide first just because your opponent either one will try to switch in and you can counter switch to lock them into your matchup, or you can just play the matchup as it is and Leaf Blade down. As you see here, we shield the Hydro Pump successfully. All I have to do is go for the Rock Slide. Our opponent tries to be really fancy here, but I don't blow the Rock Slide on them right away. I actually am able to wait and let them just... I do Rock Slide anyways. Our key here is to just literally farm down and Psycho Boost. That's our just win con. So whether this be Earthquake or anything, that's fine. It doesn't matter. All I have to do is throw the Psycho Boost, and that's GG's. As you see, this is on a regular speed just so I can explain a little more. You do win against Pancake and you do win against Umbreon leads. However, I just wanted to make it like a little more like clear so I can explain more. But just match shields. You could do what I do, eat a rock slide or not. It's really up to you. And that's GG's to my opponent. And now we're gonna do a short video on the Umbreon lead, and I'm gonna show you just how to play against Umbreon. All right, all right. So I have this one sped up. This is an Umbreon lead. You could stay in here and match shields. Again, you can tank one last resort. So what I like doing here, go up to the foul play, win CMP, and just keep it even. Because as long as you keep your energy even, you should be okay, and this Umbreon isn't going to be able to get any extra Snarls on you. Now, we managed to get 2 Snarls in. I don't know if my opponent's lagging here, or they actually stopped attacking. Doesn't look like they did. It looks like they actually got their energy there, so it probably was just a visual bug. And now they're off sync, so there was probably a desync or something like that. I don't know who got more energy advantage, but generally you win this matchup anyways. So we're going to get the Leaf Blades down, just straight Leaf Blade, build up to a foul play, then straight Leaf Blade, so that you can even up and they don't get any extra Snarls in. Hopefully you get an extra Snarl in. Now, I like to give up Switch here and throw in my DD so that we can have my opponent lose all that energy they try to gain. And we get a little bit of energy lead with Deoxy's defense. Just gotta pour a bunch of rocks over Mew. But basically, that's what it is. Build enough to a foul play and just keep the CMP even. And hopefully you can get 1 or 2 Snarls in to get extra, and then just straight Leaf Blade. You win CMP every time. Umbreon doesn't stand a chance, and our opponent here is just getting absolutely destroyed because Deoxys D is a monster and it's very, very thick. And Mew is very squishy. And now we have Pancake versus Charmer, and guess what wins with no shields? The Pancake does. The Earthquake is going to keep you quaking, and that's a GG. But yes, build up to a foul play, match CMP, and straight Leaf Blade. That's how you get GG's. Alright, so I'm actually using Shadow Victory Bell footage using regular Shiftry here. I don't have one with my Shadow Shiftry, but the strat's basically the same. You take both shields with Shadow Shiftry. Shadow Shiftry with good IVs, somewhat good IVs, should live enough to get a Foul Play and a Leaf Blade in off so that you can bait both shields. And then after that, you play it accordingly. As you see here, I send in DD, I Rock Slide down the Shadow Victory Bell, and then you get this weird big game in the back. Now, if this was like Deoxys defense, you would still send in Pancake, you'd be okay, and then whatever's in the back with shields, Pancake can take care of. But if it's the Bastiodon in the back, all you do is just line up Bastiodon with Pancake, and you're good to go. Again, when you play with Shadow Shiftry, it's basically the same thing. The important thing is to note is that you don't live. You actually don't live enough to get like all that. You only live enough to get a Shadow Play and a Leaf Blade off. Now here's footage with Bastiodon in the lead. With Bastiodon in the lead, you have a lot more play. Shadow Vic, it's kind of risky because you have to break both shields and then you have to switch out. You don't have a choice because you won't live long enough to get a third. Now, we got Bastiodon. Now, what you do in this scenario is you can queue up a Leaf Blade or you can just straight switch into DD. In this case, I'm actually just going to queue up energy, then I switch to DD, as you see. They're going to throw their Shadow Vic into me or their safe switch. Unless they decide to stay in like this guy, and I have no idea why you're doing it. I'm going to shield because what you want to do against Bastiodon / Grass Hole users, you always want to shield, but in this case, I don't have to. I have queued energy, so there's no reason for me to switch out. We get Deoxys defense here. I'm going to just Rock Slide down. Like I said, if you have queued energy, you can choose to shield or not to. Here I show you I'm not going to shield. In the next one I will show you. So then here we go. We're getting these Rock Slides off. I have so much energy queued here. I have a choice. So because I have energy lead, I can win switch back. Now it kind of matters that you win switch here. You want to line up Bastiodon. You want to line up Basti with your Pancake. So as you see here, we're just playing basically the who wants to win switch game. I elect to shield because I want switch, and I actually like shield the Thunderbolt, which is really good, even though Rock Slide technically probably my KO at that range too. But okay, so they end up firing the Psycho Boost, they get my shield, that's fine. I just get enough for 2 Psycho Boosts on my end, and I'll fire my Rock Slide. Now my opponent can elect to basically, I basically let it go or just shield. and they choose to let it go. Now they have shield advantage. It's okay if they're up 2 shields in this scenario because I still have Pancake and I have queued energy. Because we have that Leaf Blade queued, I can use it to pop a shield. And if my opponent's counting correctly, they'll shield just because they think it's a foul play. Because foul play actually kills at this range. You get to a second one, but instead of going for it, I actually go for the bait. Because if my opponent isn't really counting energy, this is where you can kind of tell like he's probably not counting energy. As you see, we grab the shield. And then we let our Shiftry go, which is okay. This is perfect. Now, this is kind of a really really bad scenario, but it's generally the same thing. You take both of Shadow Victory Bell's shields, or you can choose to like send in Basti. I'll show you a better, more cleaner version of winning this matchup on the next one, another version. But for this one, I'm just showing you just basically how if you don't manage, if they're up shields, if you manage energy well, you can actually still win against Grass Hole lines with this line. Again, you can choose to stay in. I just got unfortunate. This was the DD switch in, and I actually should have shielded the. I should have shielded the Stone Edge or just save my shields in general because I didn't really need them here. As you see, if you have proper energy, you could still misplay and win anyways. So GG's to the grass evil Basti grass combo line. Here's another match I'm about to show you right now. This one's a lot cleaner. I'll show you a lot better of like what you should do. All right, here's the second match. This shows you a little bit cleaner of what you should do when you face a Basti lead. So my opponent is going to have a Bastiodon lead, but this time we're going to play it a lot safer. The other one was a lot riskier. This one's a lot safer, and you're going to see why. So when you get Bastiodon in the lead, what you're going to do, I'm still going to queue energy here, but instead of taking it, I'm just going to switch right away. So I switch, and then your opponent does switch with me. If your opponent doesn't switch with you, I advise you to shield the first one. Now this is a super grass hole line. We're going to take shields with our rock slides here. Now the difference is here versus the last one is our opponent actually switched into us. In before, I would still shield that Stone Edge because you want your DD to be healthy. DD can take shields and put shield pressure on your opponent versus much better than Shiftry can because Shadow Shiftry is glassy. It's already a glass cannon, but Shadow just makes it even glassier. As you see here, we actually pull this really sweet and gutsy playoff. I managed to farm down this Grottle, and then I can actually get a double Psycho Boost off on whatever comes in next, unless he sends in Bastiodon. So my opponent's waiting. They actually send in their Bastiodon, which is okay. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to throw a Rock Slide just to run the clock. As you see, my switch clock is coming up. And we don't manage to get it off. But anyways, this is okay. Now we line up Bastiodon with our Pancake. Now we have queued energy on our Shadow Shiftry. So I'm gonna shield this. That's okay. We don't really need any more. I just need this. I just need my Pancake as healthy as possible. Now I'm going to pretend I'm throwing an Earthquake, and we're gonna bait shields because we need those shields. It's important that we get these shields. And now my opponent they do shield it. And then we're going to get in this Leaf Blade to bait the second one. And then we should either one of two things. One, we're going to get a foul play off to KO, or they're going to have to blow their energy here, and then we can use our Pancake to finish this match. As you see here, we're trying to get to it, and we don't get to a foul play. This is perfectly fine. So what I'm going to do is because Pancake is so powerful, we can use Pancake to just finish this off. Pancake, we can get to a Rock Slide with Pancake, and Pancake will get to an Earthquake before anything else, before Basti comes out, and that's going to be GG's. So like I said, there's a lot of ways you can play this, depending on how your opponent does. If your opponent doesn't stay in, you basically want to just like tap Pancake with energy or have it go in the back. We're going to make it to Earthquake before they do, just because Mudshot is so freaking fast, and we do get to it, and that's GG's. So again, Grass Hole, if they switch into you, then use DD to break shields and to last as much as you can. But you can pretty much just let DD go and play it accordingly, as long as you play the matchup very well. And that's GG's. And that's how you play against Grass Hole and Basti. It's such a complicated strat, right? Alright, if you made it this far, congratulations. You now know most of the ins and outs of my team. So this whole idea behind Shadow Shiftry basically was because of Galvantula being so popular now, You can beat Galvantula in a 2-shield with Shadow Shiftry as long as you can beat both shields with Leaf Blade, or you can do it some other ways and you can beat Shadow Shiftry actually beats Galvantula. But I obviously didn't show you all the ins and outs of this team. I didn't show you how to beat Galvantula Lead. You can figure it out on ppoke.com sim, and then you can play this team on how you like it. I very rarely show teams. I've been using the Shiftry DD core since season 2, and it took me to rank 10 at one point. So this is the first full breakdown I've done on this team through hundreds of battles. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you have any questions, just put in the comments. But that's it. I basically told you most, if not most of the strategies I developed with this team, like I said, through hundreds of battles. Psycho Boost is a different story. The way Psycho Boost complements Shiftry and just Galarian Stunfisk's ability to wall, like you see here, is just so valuable. You'll see that Galarian Stunfisk can actually defeat Spooter very heavily. So that's a big reason why Stunfisk is in the back, and the wall strat still works for flyers. So anyways, like I said, I told you most of my strats. This is an awesome battle between one of my friends, Troy. He's he's really good as a battler, and we GG'd each other after this, and it was like, yo, like, I kind of jacked up a lot here because you never want to be down 2 shields against anything. Because he has shield advantage, and unless I hard counter whatever he has in the back with Pancake, I essentially lose this match. So as you see here, we managed to actually like pull this sweet Psycho Boost play, and it's just nuts like how this actually worked. Because like I said, he has shield advantage, so like we're pretty screwed right now. So now he blows all his energy here. I get a little bit of energy on my Galvantula. Not Galvantula, on my Galarian stuff, yes. But like I said, this shows you the ins and outs of this team. Now, obviously, I can't tell you how to play every scenario, but this is most scenarios. Like, this is probably, out of all the notes I have, it's probably 80% of what I've learned playing this team, and the ins and outs are on this video. The other 20% are just me as a player and just really things I do on my own, or like ideas I have that I would share, but it's very complex, and I'd rather, this video is almost an hour. So if you, like I said, if you spent this long looking at this video, studying it, I guarantee you'll actually play this team semi-well. Now, the reason I say semi-well is because in order for you to play this team really well, you actually need to be really good at energy management and just being confident that your Pokemon can take some things, like how I'm confident I can go down 2 shields here and somehow still pull a W just because by like blocking in Spooter versus my Pancake, because I was like, why what does he have in the back? And I guessed it was like either Deoxy's defense or it was Galvantula, so I guessed right. But like I said, 2 key things: energy management and confidence. Once you get those 2 things, you can play this team really well. This team forces you to be a good player. That's why I like it really well, and I hope you learned a lot from this video. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I will see you on the next video, and I may or may not do another team analysis like this in the future. Anyways, you guys have a good one. Have a great day. I will see you again on my next stream or my next YouTube video.